Have you ever felt deeply desired one moment and completely invisible the next? Like you were the center of someone's universe at night, but by morning, it's as if you vanished from their world. That confusion, that emotional roller coaster, it isn't love, it's a setup. Behind that charm, that confident smile, lies something much darker than you might expect. Today, we're uncovering the truth. You're going to learn about 5 sexual secrets that narcissists desperately try to hide. And once you understand them, you'll never look at them the same way again. When shared by two caring people, sex can be one of the purest forms of connection. It builds closeness, trust, and emotional safety. But with a narcissist, that same act turns into a psychological battlefield. It's no longer about affection or mutual connection. It becomes a weapon, something cold, planned, and manipulative. Narcissists know very well how powerful sex can be. They understand it can create emotional bonds, flood your body with feel good chemicals, and make you feel safe and attached. But instead of respecting that power, they twist it. They use sex not to bring two hearts together, but to tighten their control. Every kiss, every look, every touch comes with hidden intention, not love, but power. In the early days with a narcissist, sex feels intoxicating. It's passionate, consuming, and magnetic. You might feel like you found the most irresistible connection of your life. But that intensity isn't random. It's part of their design. The narcissist is using sexual energy as a form of love bombing to hook you fast, to create emotional dependency, and to lower your defenses. You start linking their touch to affection, their attention to worth, and their presence to emotional safety. What begins as passion turns into programming, and slowly, almost without noticing, that passion becomes conditional. Sex turns into a form of reward or punishment. It's offered when you comply and withheld when you don't. Over time, you begin to sense a shift. The intimacy no longer feels mutual. It's more like a performance with only one star. If you boost their ego, if you make them feel powerful, they might shower you with affection. But the moment you express your own needs or confront them, they pull away. The warmth disappears. It's a game of give and take, or rather, give and take away. They offer closeness when they want control and withdraw it when they want you confused, anxious, and chasing their approval. This is where sex becomes part of the control cycle. Narcissists often use physical intimacy to manipulate your emotions. After an argument, they might initiate sex not from guilt or care, but to reset the emotional dynamic and regain dominance. It's a way of saying, I decide when we're connected. It confuses your mind, softens your anger, and blurs your memories of the hurt they caused. You begin to doubt yourself. Maybe you did overreact. Maybe they do care. But that's exactly the point. They don't need to apologize if they can make you forget the pain through pleasure. That's how they keep you trapped in emotional confusion. Even more damaging is how they use absence as a weapon. Suddenly, they turn distant. They stop touching you. They withdraw affection without explanation, leaving you to wonder what you did wrong. Then, right when you start to detach, they come back with full intensity, passionate, attentive, irresistible. That push and pull keeps you addicted, always trying to get back the version of them that made you feel alive in the beginning. But that version was never real. It was a mask, a strategy, a carefully rehearsed performance. The emotional high they gave you at first wasn't genuine connection. It was bait. This entire pattern leaves deep scars. It conditions you to link love with pain, passion with fear, and intimacy with anxiety. That's the hidden power of a narcissist. Sexual manipulation. It's never about the act itself. It's about how it controls your emotions. They don't crave your heart. They crave ownership of it. And the cruelest part is how they use your natural desire for love and closeness as the leash. Meeting a narcissist often feels like walking into a dream. The way they look at you, speak to you, touch you, it feels electric, like destiny. But that's because it's too perfect to be true. Narcissists are masters of illusion, and their most powerful trick is love bombing. They overwhelm you with attention, flattery, and passion to make you emotionally dependent. It's not real connection, it's calculated control. Beneath the charm, there's no emotional depth, only strategy. During that early stage, they mirror you. They reflect your values, your dreams, your beliefs. So it feels like you've finally met someone who truly gets you. They talk about forever, about fate, about how rare your bond is. They text constantly, crave your time, and tell you you're unlike anyone they've ever met. But none of this comes from real emotion. It's an act meant to bypass your defenses by creating a whirlwind of intensity. They make you skip the natural process of trust building and fall too deep too fast. Sex plays a massive role in this illusion. It's passionate, frequent, and feels emotionally charged. They'll say things like, "I've never felt this connected before," or "No one else understands me like you do." But the truth is, this intensity isn't proof of love. It's manipulation. The narcissist uses sex to lock in emotional addiction. The chemicals released during intimacy, oxytocin, dopamine, endorphins, all make you feel attached and euphoric. Your brain links that pleasure to them. And once that bond forms, they know they can control you more easily. When they sense they've secured your loyalty, the change begins. The warmth cools, the effort drops. Messages slow down, compliments fade, the passion that once seemed endless becomes rare. Where they once celebrated your uniqueness, they start pointing out your flaws. The person who once made you feel special now makes you feel confused and inadequate. When you ask why, they twist it back on you. You're imagining things, you're too emotional, you're overthinking. They gaslight you until you doubt your own memory. Leaned. And then comes the cruel truth. The person you fell for never really existed. The intense connection you believed in wasn't love. It was a calculated trap. The love bombing phase wasn't an expression of devotion. It was bait to pull you in deep before the mask slipped. By the time you realize what's happening, you're already emotionally caught, questioning yourself, craving the validation they once gave so freely. That initial affection was never real. It was a setup. And that the narcissists knew exactly what they were doing. Narcissists don't enter relationships for the same reasons healthy people do. Most people want closeness, understanding, and mutual support. Narcissists want admiration, not love, not parliamentation. They crave constant attention to feed their fragile self-image. Their need for control shapes every part of their relationships, especially sexual and emotional ones. To them, true intimacy is dangerous. Vulnerability is exposure. Being truly seen threatens the perfect mask they wear. Deep down, they're terrified of being ordinary or unworthy, so they avoid real closeness at all costs. Sex with a narcissist might start out feeling consuming, but it's never about shared pleasure. It's a show, one that revolves around them. If they seem attentive, it's often because they want to be praised for being amazing, not because they care about your satisfaction. They feed off admiration. They want to hear how great they are, how irresistible, how unforgettable. The moment that praise stops or the focus shifts to you, their interest fades. Sexual connection, like every other kind of attention, is just another way for them to boost their ego. Once that purpose is met, the act loses meaning. What makes it even more painful is what happens when intimacy threatens to become unreal. Genuine closeness requires honesty, trust, or an emotional give and take, things narcissists avoid. because they can't handle true vulnerability. The moment you reach for emotional depth, they pull away or change the subject. Their mask cracks under real intimacy, so they replace it with control, criticism, or withdrawal. And that's the heartbreaking truth about intimacy with a narcissist. You'll give your heart hoping to build something real, but they'll only take what they need: admiration, validation, and control. To them, love isn't a partnership. It's possession. And until you see that, you'll stay trapped in their cycle, always reaching for the warmth they used to give, never realizing it was only ever a tool. They are often unwilling or simply unable to give. They'll pull back, detach emotionally, or even sabotage the connection. Sometimes they'll mock or downplay moments of vulnerability using sarcasm, silence, or indifference to create emotional distance. When you try to connect on a deeper level, to share your feelings or open up, they might treat it like weakness or make you feel like you're asking for too much. This reaction isn't random. It's a defense mechanism. The narcissist cannot handle emotional exposure, so they devalue it, reject it, belief, or twist the situation to make you feel embarrassed for even wanting closeness. In relationships with narcissists, partners often end up feeling emotionally starved. You might be physically near, but emotionally left out in the cold. You could share the same bed, yet feel no bond. When you try to have real conversations about love, growth, or connection, you're met with blank stars, half-hearted replies, or ridicule. Slowly, this